Hey, what's up, folks? Thanks for the very kind response to the first video. It was very neat to see everybody was enjoying it and looking for more. So, here I am doing another one. I'm recording this on Thanksgiving. I'm gonna try to put it up the day after. This next one is something that was suggested to me by Mr. GaijinGoombah. He thought, hey, you should tell the story of where Kirbopher comes from. And he meant the character specifically, which I'm going to go into, but also the screen name, because there is a little story that goes behind that and the character. So those of you who are probably wondering, if you are listening to this, yeah, what is Kirbopher? What is this little weird imp thing that I have as my like avatar character for everything? Well, it all started when I was a wee lad of 12 years old. And I was staying at a babysitter's house, who was like a friend of the family's, for about a week while my parents were off at some place in the summer or something. And they had the internet, and it was opened up to me, and it was magical and amazing and awful and destroyed my life. I created my first AIM screen name while I was on there. And I tried a bunch of things, and a lot of them didn't work because they were taken up already. Like Future Trunks. Who'd have thought somebody would already have that as their registered AOL name? Yeah. So eventually I had this idea of, I'm going to take the name of a video game character from a game that I'm playing right now and combine it with my first name, and then add the number of my age at the end. This is a very inspired idea. So I was playing Kirby at the time. My name is Christopher, and I was 12. So thus I was Kirbopher 12. That's where the name started from. And the number has a little side thing to it. Obviously, it was my age at the time. And I kept having to update it because I would either be like registering on some new forum, or there was like my AIM name got corrupted a few times, and I had to like remake my account or whatever. And so the number kept going up and up and up depending on what my age was. So I was Kirbopher 13, I was Kirbopher 14, I was Kirbopher 15, and I was Kirbopher 16, but the 15 ended up having kind of a further use than what I intended. Because I later found out that a number that I had this kind of weird obsession with, unrelated to any of this, the number 1111, or like 1111, was 15 in binary. And when I was doing the original TV Tome Adventures series on Newgrounds back in the day, the name of my character was Kirbopher 15. And I realized, oh, and 1111 was a thing in there. Oh, this makes sense. I'm going to tie this all together. So I kept the 15 for a while, and that's why, like, at the time I'm recording this, unless I get it fixed somehow, my YouTube account is Kirbopher 15 and not Kirbopher. So there's that. But, yeah, I kept the 15 for a while because it was related to the plot of TTA at the time. And then eventually I got rid of the number because that's just something that I think everybody kind of grows out of when they reach a certain point. They're just like, I should probably get rid of the millions of numbers in my name. Like, I'm Vegeta 78374 at AOL.com. It's like, it's time for a change. So I got rid of that. As for the character design, that is a whole different story, which I will tell. So, when I was doing the, like, I guess, pre-production for TTA, this would have been like 2003 or 4, Mike, Lucas, and I, for those who don't know the story of how that had come about, we were both on the TV Tome forums back in the day, and there were no images on this message board, so nobody had any avatars, nobody had any signatures or anything. So Mike and I, being artists, we were like, ooh, we should draw characters like based off of everybody's screen names, which is where a lot of the designs of the Tome characters, even still to this day, originally come from. They were inspired off of like what does Flame Girl look like, what does Game Craze look like, what does Nylok look like, etc., based off of just the name. So the same thing was the case with us, where Mike was Ultimate Creature the Second at the time, which I later just condensed down to Alpha, long story, but I won't tell that one here. And I was Kirbopher 15 at the time. So we were making characters. based on those screen names as well for ourselves. And those of you if you've seen Balancing Act, Chris Frost was like normally my sort of avatar character for just myself in life. And but because he was part of a property that I didn't really want to show on the internet for a long time, I didn't use him as like my sort of representation of myself until I finally did my thesis film. So Kirbopher was kind of just a stand-in, and he was not something that I really valued that much, to be honest. The thing is, when I first did the character design, I thought about, wouldn't it be funny if maybe he were like a little Kirby thing or something? And so I decided to make him a little white Kirby with a Link hat and a sword. But then immediately after I came up with that idea, I was like, I should give him an original design and not just like a recolor of something. So I actually came up with a little humanoid design, like a little blobby, like cute thing of some kind, like a little Bomberman character or something. That's what he looked like at some point. So I did have a humanoid design for him, like way back in the day, in like 2003 or 4 or whatever it was. But when I was doing TTA and the graphics were all sprites, I couldn't really find anything that worked as an exact base to use for Kirbopher. So I ultimately decided, okay, well then I'll just use Kirby sprites and make that into the Kirby design that I came up with. Not realizing that this is not a wise idea to do, because and many artist friends of mine can attest to this, that a lot of people have these dark, embarrassing pasts of having a video game recolor sprite as their avatar on message boards and different websites and things. And I defend myself a little bit because it wasn't out of like, I could think of my own character design, so I'm just going to take Kirby and make him white and give him a Link hat. That's my original character. Derp, derp, derp. It wasn't that so much as it was just I had to work within the limitations of what I was doing, and that I wasn't doing animation yet. I didn't know how to do animation yet, and I was using sprites, so I made Kirbopher into a Kirby. And the little humanoid design that I had at that time was then later just kind of abandoned, and nothing ever happened with that one again. So then that's how it was for a long time. And there's still people to this day who crack marshmallow jokes at me, who associate me with my Kirby design from way back, and I hate you for doing that, all of you who do that. No, just kidding. But, yeah, so that's how it was for a while. Flash forward to 2007, just as I was starting college, I believe. I decided, okay, time for me to get rid of the Kirby recolor design, because it's time to stop. So I decided I was going to make a new design for Kirbopher, because I still wasn't comfortable with using Chris Frost as my avatar. And so I decided to make another attempt at a humanoid Kirbopher. So for a little bit, I had not the current one that people know from Tome, but a slightly different version of that, with like a blue gi and like these ninja fishnet sort of things or whatever, and the general aesthetics of it were a little funky, a little different compared to how it is now. And so I had that for a bit, and honestly, I didn't really even like it that much. It was really just always meant as kind of a placeholder. And it wasn't until I did this one picture of the 5 main characters from TTA in sort of like a close but not quite there stage of the tome designs. And so in that same light, I had the Imp Kirbopher that you are all probably familiar with now in that picture, and I kind of adjusted his design a little bit, fixed up his colors and things, and then made some more adjustments with like the tattered sort of thief look and all that stuff. And I really liked it, and I was like, okay, this is cool. And then as I began coming up with a defined personality for the character, for when I was writing the Tome episodes, I grew to like him a lot more. And, he's still not the most original design in the world. A lot of people are just like, oh, he looks like Young Link or Toon Link or whatever. And I'm like, oh, whoops. In fact, I think somebody's even done like a Brawl Super Smash Bros. Brawl hack of Toon Link's skin with like the Kirbopher design, which is kind of neat. That's cool. Thank you, whoever did that, by the way. But yeah, I've grown to like him. I like his design, I like his personality and stuff, as like kind of his own separate character, and not just like an online representation of me. Even though people kind of just take that for what it is, and it's whatever, you know. But yeah, so that's kind of where he came from, and he's progressed a lot. And these days, I try to, you know, mostly put more emphasis on just my actual name and my identity as an artist. Kirbopher was just kind of like a part of my life that has, you know, basically ended at this point, and he's just kind of hushed his way out of me into the form of a little stupid, grumpy cartoon imp thing. I'm not entirely sure what he is. He's a Kirbopher. Sure. So that's the story. That's going to wrap us up this time. Again, leave comments, leave feedback, leave questions, and you might be the inspiration for the next Kirblog subject to tackle. And then, you know what? Tell me, where did your screen name come from? Have a little discussion in the comments or wherever you find this. You know, tell everybody your story too. I want to hear it. And yeah, so that'll wrap us up. You can follow me on Twitter and Facebook and Tumblr and all that jazz. Check out my site. Go check out Tome, Terrain and Magical Expertise. And I'll see you on the next one. Thanks a lot, guys. Hope you all had a happy Thanksgiving the other day, if you're seeing this the day after, I hope. And I'll catch y'all later. Bye.